Did it? Audio, just to make sure that everyone out there is able to hear our lovely voices. We're looking forward to welcoming our guests today. Hope everyone is having a good day wherever you are in the world. Audio, just to make sure that everyone out there is able to hear our lovely voices. Hear our lovely voices.
I really like that calm way of entering in onto the podcast every week. It kind of chills me out quite a bit.
I mean, that music is the music of choice for our cat.
She loves it.
She loves
Handpan
Man is what we call him.
That's what we call him.
Malta Martin.
Malte Martin, yes.
Malta. I think E is pronounced an A in their language. But I mean, I could be wrong.
Yeah, but we always play his music.
We do.
He's like amazing.
Whatever, if you're feeling you need a bit of a calmness added to your day, I would recommend him. Handpan Man.
Recommended by our cat,
Yes.
Kaji, who's around here somewhere.
She may make an appearance.
She wants to be on podcast today. Here she comes.
Come on. She as soon as you say no, she's in here.
She's coming in. Kia ora and welcome to Creative Talk Podcast, the place where we blend the worlds of consciousness and commerce. My name is Kebrasca King.
And I'm Amber King, and today we're speaking with a spiritual mentor, teacher, and healer who works with a number of different modalities. But first, let's catch up on last week.
Yes, well, on the screen you'll see RC Fitness is showing again, and literally we had Robin, who is our personal trainer and has actually helped us over a number of years, come through last week and share his 20 plus years experience around health, wealth, fitness. He also took the piss out of us a lot, which was really amazing.
Yeah, look.
But that's what he does when he trains us too.
He's the EnterTrainer.
He is the EnterTrainer.
And still his jokes are very bad.
And the training part of it is actually more I actually think it's more beneficial because he's so entertaining.
Yeah, if you were we've had heaps of trainers in the past.
We have.
And the ones that are boring or the ones that are serious, we never stayed with, right? Because they just didn't resonate with us. But with Robin, as he said in the podcast, if he can make it fun and make you smile, it seems like the exercises aren't as hard.
It's not true. They are still hard. He just makes it really funny and laughs at you while you're doing something.
Oh,
Total lie.
Makes it fun though, doesn't he?
But look, he's an amazing trainer. We had him on board last week and he was talking about so many different things, a lot of topics that are coming out today with regards to creatine, with regards to different age groups and how they're supposed to look after yourselves. There's so many things that he had. We could have had him on for a lot longer.
Yeah, we could have. We might bring him back for a part 2 because we do have something big coming up with him soon.
What's that?
It's something I don't want to talk about right now.
Why don't you want to talk? Are you scarred?
Because
do you have emotional trauma
we've
problems?
Only just started and I'm already over it. No, I'm not over it.
We're not. We haven't even started.
We literally just started training. Hyrox.
Yes. Hyrox Melbourne is coming at the end of this year, apparently around December. We don't have an actual date, but we have already committed, thanks to Robin, we've committed to this crazy training program that we're now doing to get ourselves ready for Hyrox in December.
And how have you been going? You did well today. Tell everyone what you did. Oh, yeah, it is a bit of a joke. But
funny.
what did you do today?
As part of the training,
Yeah.
you mean? Yeah. So it's not like I have a choice. Part of the choice around this Hyrox, obviously, if you don't know what Hyrox is, it has been around for a while. It's a global event now, similar to CrossFit, but actually it's a lot bloody harder.
It's like CrossFit for
I'll pull up something over here.
people that aren't
CrossFitty.
Yeah.
Which is
there
us. So this is Hyrox. It's coming to Melbourne. They're going to confirm. We've been told it's around the December timeframe. But basically what it is it is an endurance race. And a lot of the endurance is actually running. And neither Amber or I are runners.
Yeah, we can do weights all day.
We can do we've been doing weights for years.
Yeah.
But we cannot run.
So you've got to run 8Ks, but not all up. So you run 1K and then you go and do 1,000 meters on the ski erg, and then you run another K, and then you've got to do something else. So it's like after every round of running, which is 1 kilometer, you then have to go and do some kind of hard exercise.
Yes.
And carry weights, do it's like there's farmers carry, there's lunges, there's burpees, there's rower, there's wall slams or wall ball slams, whatever they're called.
Wall balls.
What else? What did I miss?
It's on the screen.
Sled push and pull.
Sled pull, burpees, broad jumps, farmers carry, the whole lot. So every time you do an exercise, you also then have to run a kilometer. Yeah. And then you go into the next exercise and then you run another kilometer. And so on until you get right down to the end here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
There's eight stations.
8 exercises.
And there's
plus 9 kilometers of running.
8Ks of running.
And we don't run.
No, we do now. No, let's change that.
Oh, okay.
We are runners.
We're telling ourselves that we can run.
We can run. Today you ran. How far did you run? You did really good.
I've been trying to run for some time now. I think it's like 3 months. And I couldn't even run a kilometer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now?
I did 8 kilometers today.
You did.
But it was tough.
Was there a little bit of walking involved?
Oh, there was a whole lot of walking involved. I would never run consecutively for 8 kilometers. Yeah. I'm not that good. I'm not that good.
Neither.
And also, if someone saw me running, it's more like
shuffling,
like an old man kind of walk, kind of thing. It's not really running. I wouldn't class it as running. I see people running past me though, if that counts.
Look, I did. We ran past you this morning, didn't we?
Oh, you did? Yeah. Well, you girls were out as well.
I was running with the F45 girls.
How long did you guys do?
We did just over 4Ks.
4Ks.
Yeah, and because we were going with one girl that she's super fit and she's doing Hyrox Sydney, which is next month. So she, even with an injured ankle, she was going, "Come on, girl!" She was pulling us along.
She's a machine.
And it's her birthday today, actually, Paula.
Oh, no
happy
way.
birthday!
Happy
and
birthday, Paula.
So I managed to only walk 59 seconds of that whole 4Ks. It was more than 4Ks, actually.
So like a minute of walking, but then how long was you running?
Well, it was 30.
That's pretty good.
30-something minutes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Mate. It's a pretty good effort.
So.
Because we both weren't runners. We actually hate running. As one of the things that we try to avoid, it's cardio and running. So, yes, it's been a great mission of ours, thanks to Robin, our amazing EnterTrainer, the guy who is basically making us do this. Yes.
Yeah.
But we agreed. We agreed. So now we're sucking up the punishment, and we're literally going to be doing it anyway.
We're going to be so ready because we've started early.
Yeah, we're going to be very ready.
And it's going to be fun. And you're partnering with him, but
I am.
I still am yet. My original partner injured herself, so she can't do it. Then I thought I had a new partner.
There's something wrong with you and partners.
And now she's decided she's not doing it. So I'm looking for a Hyrox partner.
We're putting it out to the universe.
There. I want a female.
Amber needs a female partner for Hyrox. If you're watching and you want to take part with Amber at Hyrox, she'll even buy you a cup of tea later on.
I will. I'll buy you a cup of tea and biscuits. But you got to come down and train with us at Snap Fitness in Port Melbourne. That's the catch, because you got to train with me and Robin and
myself,
Kebrasca
and do all those things and get it all done. But yes, that is us that's what we're going to be doing later on this year. If you want to come and see us fail dramatically
I
at
think we're going to
Hyrox,
film some of it.
then really?
Yeah, I think we
don't know
should
if I wanna
film
do
our
that.
progress, and we're going to be putting it on our socials.
I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I'm ready to show the world just how terrible I am at doing everything.
Mate.
Maybe when we've done it a couple years in a row. The first time? No, I don't think so.
No, do
I'm
the
not
first
sure.
time because it's the most fun and it's the funniest. Let's just say that funniest.
It will be the funniest. It'll be the
Wow.
funniest thing we do this year. That's for sure. It's going to be a lot of laughs, but it's going to be good fun. We're not too serial. It's not a competition, but it will be a competition on the day.
So, partner, you've got to be good because we want to beat Kebrasca and Robin, please. So don't come at
really?
you know, it's not a competition. It is a competition. Okay, don't tell
I'm
them.
putting it in the chat. Amber needs a partner. But Hyrox is coming this year. RC Fitness. Thank you, Robin, for coming on the show last week to talk all things health, well-being, and fitness. It was great to have him here. You know, he's just so funny, man.
He is.
He's just like,
and he's
so
a
funny.
bundle of energy. Even 4 a.m. Not that I've seen him 4 a.m, but you've seen him at 5 a.m, and he is full of energy.
Yeah, he's totally. The other thing I want to say just before we get in and bring in our amazing guest for this evening's interview is that we've actually reached 400 subscribers on YouTube. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, wrong one.
Wrong one. Yay!
We've reached 400 over this. Like, we've only been going for a couple months and it's already growing really well. We just want to say thank you to everyone that has subscribed, everyone that's come on board to be a guest speaker with Amber and I, because listening to just us two would just not be as fun.
Yeah.
You know?
No.
So we're very grateful for everyone that's supporting the channel, everyone that's coming on board, all of our special guests that have supported and come from all different corners of the world and also modalities. We are very, very grateful.
Thank you so much.
So thank you guys so much for being here. Now it's time to welcome our guest. The very talented lady who has been in her training and doing so much within her space for so many years is the lovely Monique Elouise. She comes to us all the way from Melbourne. She also locates herself in different spaces around Australia and recently, I believe, just came back from a trip overseas.
And she's from New Zealand too.
And she's a Kiwi.
Yeah,
which
so
we always love. We love so much. Monique, wonderful to see you. Thanks so much for being here.
Hey guys.
Hi, Monique.
Yeah, it's so good to see you.
It's so good to see you guys as well, and thank you so much for having me as well. Congratulations on the 400 followers.
Thank you. Yes. We'll continue to do our hard work and thank you for being part of our wonderful guest list that is sharing their knowledge and their modalities and their insights with the world. So thank you so much for taking the time this evening.
Yeah, thanks. I'm honored. It's great to be here.
Awesome. Well, now, Monique, before we dive into Kundalini, Reiki, and everything you do today, we want to know what first drew you into the world of healing and spiritual development.
It's a good story, and I'll try and keep it as short as I can as well. But basically, when I was a little girl, probably around 4, my nana passed away. And even though I didn't know her that well and we hadn't developed that bond, she was very spiritual. She was a psychic medium. She could see people that had passed over. And when she passed over, she used to come into my room at night and tuck me in. Like I would feel the blankets pulling across my chest, and then I would feel this impression down by my lower legs. And I always just knew it was her. So I was never scared. So I have this belief that part of the reason that she passed over was to protect me through that time and to guide me on this path. And then I had an aunt on the other side of the family that was also very spiritual. So she's been a huge part of my path as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Looking back now, do you think, do you think that she's had an influence in your journey in helping you to choose the modalities or go on the path that you've actually chosen for yourself?
My nana?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that she's always with me. I always feel her with me, and I know that often when I get psychic readings, they'll describe what she looks like. So yeah, I think that she's always kind of been guiding me, and I've always felt that connection. And I think when I was a little kid, I had that belief that if I come from a line of witches, that means I'm a witch. And what if I have powers? And I don't know if anybody else has those kind of ideas when they're a little kid, but I was like, oh, my mum had these superpowers and Nana had those, and I wonder what my superpowers will be. So yeah, I think when I was a little kid, I was just always like, well, I'm going to be magic. And so I feel like little me would be stoked that this is what I'm doing.
Yeah, I had those. I used to think I was Superman and try and jump off the roof, but I could never fly. I'd always crash on the ground, and it'd always end well. It wouldn't end well.
No. And have you mastered how to fly yet?
I haven't, but in my dreams, yes. In other ways, absolutely, but never from jumping off the roof.
Please don't jump off the roof again. Okay.
Don't do that anymore.
Yeah, no, we need you.
Now, Monique, do you think that your challenges that you experienced like early on in life, do you think that had a hand in like you preparing for the work that you now do with yourself and with also with your clients?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of the things that I experienced were around childhood sexual trauma. And so a lot of the people that I end up working with, at some point, I will find out that they've had their own kind of sexual trauma or had those boundaries, the physical boundaries being pushed. And it happens more and more with the work that I'm doing now with Kundalini activation, which is why I've gone to those lengths of trying to understand how to be more trauma informed, learning more about the nervous system and regulation and that kind of thing as well. Because I guess as a healer, like we always want to leave someone better
Yeah,
than
100%.
when they came in. And sometimes that can mean that if they come in for one thing, but it doesn't feel right for them based on how they're showing, that you might have to change that in the moment. So yeah, absolutely. Like a lot of what I've been through and what I've healed through my own journey, it has shaped me into the person that I am now. So at a level, I'm grateful for the experience, I guess. Because it really feels like this is the path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's such a special gift to actually go through something, as deep and harsh the reality of going through something like what you've been through growing up, and then being able to come out of that yourself, and then being able to step other people through that whole thing as well and support them through that, because we never had that support in that moment. And the fact that you're able to then share your experience, connect with them, and then actually show them a way to go through that, I think that's really special.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I think it's part of the path of being a healer, though, because you see and you feel the things that have helped your healing journey. And once you really feel something that, oh, this has really changed my healing journey, this has really accelerated and it feels so much better. It's like this want that you're like, I've just got to share this with as many people as I can. Like if they knew that there was this like shortcut, or they could do this instead and that would really help, then I would just want them to know. And I think there's also that part of like, if you've been through something as a child where perhaps you didn't have the right parental protection around you or something like that, it makes you feel a bit more nurturing, particularly around younger people that come in. Like you just want to protect them,
look
your
after
arms
them.
around them, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're just like, oh, come to me, I'm a safe person.
You can trust me, it's okay.
Yeah.
I get it, I totally get it.
It's and it's difficult work, and not everyone can do it, so it's testament to you and to the healing that you've done as well, to be able to take that on board, because not, as I said, not everyone can hold that space for others, so that's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, Monique, you've spoken openly about burnout, anxiety, and feeling disconnected from yourself. At the time, did you realize how much those experiences were driving your decisions and behaviors?
Not when I was younger, but looking back on those times where I first felt burnout and I didn't really know what it was, I think they also got me to that point where I was so overwhelmed and I was really living in survival mode. And it was just those decisions that came through were really like, I've just got to stop everything that's pushing me too much. And so I really feel like I've made some of the best decisions in that time. as well. Maybe not by the book and like the things that I should have done by society standards,
Yeah.
but for me, like those were the things that really like realigned me on this path as well. And then as I've gotten older and I've realized, oh, like, hey, I'm heading into burnout, or my nervous system is dysregulated. Now I've got like this toolbox full of things that can help me in that time. And then I can start getting into it and being like, okay, if I'm anxious and overwhelmed right now, the decisions that I'm making are really coming from a place of fear.
Yeah.
And so what are the things that I can do that bring me back into my heart, into a regulated state where I'm actually choosing the thing that's really best for me, which is not running away.
Yeah, true.
And
Very
quitting
true.
life and doing all the things, although that's fun.
Yeah. I mean, but
Yeah.
that's the natural thing for people, right? Is to run away from the problems.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
hard to confront them.
Yeah.
You know, that's the difficult part, and so I wouldn't blame people for trying to run away from them.
It's also the conditioning of our society to burn out and like push yourself to this limit and just suck it up and handle it, you know, and it's not healthy in any way, shape, or form. And we're kind of conditioning ourselves to actually live in more trauma
That's it.
and not get support, and you know, and then that leads down so many different pathways, and then we're like, how did I get here?
Yeah, absolutely.
how did
And I
get
feel
here?
like in society, we kind of almost wear it like it's a badge of honor to
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, I've been working so hard
Yeah.
lately
Exactly.
that I'm just so burnt out. And it's like, it's not a good thing.
That
Like,
doesn't
Yeah.
sound
you need to
good.
work on yourself
Yeah.
and find
Yeah.
your balance, book in that holiday. Yeah, there's definitely it seems to run pretty rampant these days, and I think like you would see like the way that things have evolved when we used to have a job that was like 9 to 5, and then you went home and you switched off, and now that doesn't happen anymore. Now
Yeah.
you're on like 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, feeling that push that you couldn't possibly relax because there's always something that needs to be done.
Yeah, exactly.
And now it's like almost if you do relax or you have a little bit of downtime, you feel so guilty the whole time
Yep.
that you're just sort of in that hyper-vigilant state anyway, just waiting for the next thing. So I think COVID and the lockdowns taught us a lot about how we are and how we've evolved as a society too.
Now, one of the things that you talk about in your work and that you teach as well is, you know, through your own journey and dealing with these anxieties and also your traumas, you've learned how to regulate like your nervous system. You've learned how to kind of manage this process. Why do you think so many people, they don't have a way of regulating in this busy environment in their workspace or even in their homes and family life? Why do you think that that's not happening? In most of us seem to be living like survival mode almost.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do live in survival mode. I think people often don't recognize their trauma until a lot later in life, or some people suppress or repress it. I think a lot of people are living in their heads and they're so disconnected from their body that they don't really realize the symptoms of what's going on, or it's so disconnected. So they might be like, oh, I'm a bit stressed at work and I've got all these like digestive issues. And it's like they don't join the dots, they just go to the doctor. And so then the doctor will give them something that's going to suppress the symptoms but not get to the root cause. So there's not that understanding or the wide known understanding, I guess, of like the mind body balance and the psychosomatic version of healing that works with the mind and the body. So because they're so disconnected, like you can have all the stress and not think that you could possibly do anything about it physically or emotionally. And so I think that leads you into that spiraling, and you just have the blinkers on and you just keep going on the same rat race because you can't see outside of the box or the path that you've chosen. Like there doesn't seem to be another way.
No, there's no way out of that, you know. And once you're in that darkness place, that you just get stuck.
Yeah.
And it's a loop. It's just a constant loop.
Exactly. And then that's where like big disease happens.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, why do I have cancer? You know, like stuff like that, you know, instead of like looking at it from the beginning when, you know, oh, I'm really stressed, overworked, I've got digestive issues, but there's that lack of connection. They could have maybe prevented it if they wound right back to that point where they were first having, smaller issues.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How do
And
you go through that, Monique? Sorry. How do you regulate yourself, your nervous system? What's the process that you have that you take yourself through if you're in a stressful environment or things are happening? Like, what is it that you do?
I've got a lot of different tools that I use. One of the things that I try and do most days at the end of the day are some really basic techniques, often lying on the ground with my back flat, and just doing some pelvic tilts and reminding myself that I'm safe in my body, like working with the root chakra, because that's very grounding, or doing things that feel grounding, and also really connecting with my breath. I feel like we underestimate that connection a
True.
Yeah.
lot. Because even when you just put your hand over your heart and your lower abdomen, like you're feeling that you're a breathing body, and so it's reconnecting you to the body. It's kind of taking you out of the mind and back into the body. So I try and make those fairly regular practices, if not daily practices, or doing grounding, going for a walk. I exercise regularly, like you guys, although your X Games or whatever you say are like
I
horrible.
don't recommend that one, Mom. Don't do that.
I'll watch.
Yeah.
But I think it's got to be a balance. Like, it's
Mm,
instead of getting to that point where you're just like, I'm burnt out, like you've got to start learning how to listen to your body and the signals that it's giving you, and not allow yourself to end there. But like you say, is the way that society treats it is like burning out and success to different levels is a badge of honor. So it's kind of like, oh no, I can't give up this because this is what society sees success is. Even though my body feels like I've run a marathon and I'm
Yeah.
not a
yeah.
runner,
Yeah, exactly.
or whatever it is, it's like I've just got to keep going. And
Mm,
it's like, did you stop to ask why though? Like,
yeah.
what is the goal at the end of it? Is it
Mm.
to make all the money, to have the nice house, or like what is it if you don't have health and you can't enjoy it?
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
the thing, like you see people working really, really hard and burning out
Mm.
and for all the material things. And then they
Mm,
get the house, they get the car, but they can't enjoy it because either they're working too much or their health is so bad, they're not
mm,
able to enjoy
Mm.
all the work they've put into this thing, right? To getting this thing. So it's
yeah.
kind of like defeats the purpose of it,
It's
really.
usually both, eh? They usually have a lot of materialism, a lot of money, but they're still unhappy. Like I've
Yeah.
met so many clients who are wealthy and they're very well off, and yet there's a piece of them that's also missing
Mm,
inside of them, and they don't know why they feel sad. They don't know why they're depressed. They've got all this stuff, but there's this emptiness,
Yeah.
and they don't know what it is, and then that emptiness kind of leads them down to either a depression or, and then they get, as you were saying, Monique, they get given a drug, to take to make you feel better, and none of that helps them get off this wheel. It just doesn't work.
yeah, it's that looking for the quick fix all the time instead of realizing that it's a pathway,
Yeah,
and that you've got to put in the action steps to make it work, just like you would be working up the career ladder to get to the better job.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
your health, if you're not putting in the daily work, it's got to be the physical body, but also like the mind and the nervous system
Mm.
and the emotions. Like we're holistic creatures, mind, body, spirit.
Yeah.
We're,
Exactly.
we're quite lucky as practitioners, and we understand the flow of energy and how that works with our body. And we also
Yeah.
know the importance of releasing and connecting. But how often do you see clients or students or people coming in that just hardly ever release, or they hardly ever stop, or they hardly ever breathe? How often does that happen for you?
Almost every client.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
Same.
And it's interesting that you talk about the breathing too, because you do, and I catch myself sometimes that you're kind of sitting there and you're like, oh, I'm not breathing. But most of us aren't aware of it,
Yeah.
or the breath is so short and shallow that you're not um, bringing in that spaciousness or allowing your breath to be that full that it's actually calming
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the time. And I think the thing is with treatments like Reiki, that people will come in for a session and they'll kind of be like, oh, I expect you to heal me. And then they
Yeah.
feel peace and calm. And then they just go back into the same situation that caused it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they come back to you and they're like, it didn't work. I
Yeah.
just feel bad again and I feel weird. And then you're like, have you done your homework? And they're like, oh, no. Because, and that's the thing. It's like in this world of healing, holistic healing, you don't just take a pill and then it's done.
No,
it's fixed.
there is no
it's,
quick
you know,
fix.
you've got to put in the work, and you know, every healer knows that and has put in the work as well. But if the client is not willing to do that, then it's like they're hitting their head against a brick wall.
Yeah, well, it's the devotional path. I mean, it's the same, like, we'll take your experience back at the gym. Like, if you don't put in the effort now, then you guys are going to fail miserably when you go to the
Exactly.
games at the end of the year.
Yep.
So you know that you have to build it up. So I think you should share it on social media.
I think so
no,
too.
No.
I mean, it's going to be funny for others to watch.
It'll be
so
hilarious.
It might not be as funny for us
We
to
may
watch.
film it. Who knows? But look, we had some comments come in from Jan when we were talking about burnout. What did you do? Jan is saying, I retired.
She retired early.
And then a huge shout out to Madeline. Thanks so much for coming back. Yes, we remember you. And if you have any questions for Monique, by all means, just drop it in the chat. We will ask her live on our podcast.
Yes. Next question. So this is a hot topic at the moment. It seems to be all over the internet. Kundalini activation.
Yes.
So that's become a huge part of your work. What drew you to this modality? Before you explain what it is, because a lot of people are wanting to know, tell us what drew you to this and why you're so passionate about it.
To be honest, I started with a journey in yoga about 18 years ago. And it's just like the pathway fell in front of me, and I was so drawn to it that I did teacher training. I went to India. Like, I've been over there multiple times, studied with gurus in India. One of my trainings in, I think it was 2015, I was doing 200 hours of hatha yoga, and I received at the end of that Shakti Pat, which is a divine blessing of Kundalini awakening from a guru that has spent their whole life training in that. At the time, I had no idea what that was. I didn't know what it meant, and I didn't know what I was receiving and how it would change my life and transform it so much. But yeah, Kundalini awakening is different to Kundalini activation. So it's not the same thing that I do. And I think there's a lot of confusion around that as well.
Can you explain what's the difference?
Yeah, sure. So Kundalini, so you can have like lots of spiritual awakenings over your life, right? I'm sure you have both had like multiple spiritual awakenings, but a Kundalini awakening is basically the full awakening of the Kundalini Shakti, the divine feminine energy, and she comes up your spine, your Sushumna Nadi, and she meets her divine partner, Shiva. So the blend of masculine and feminine are embodied within you. But with that, that's kind of like the nice fluffy journey of like the myth, I guess, to help understand it. But it's really pretty much going through, can I swear?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, well, I was only going to say it's going through a shit show in life, pretty much. Like, often what happens is that when you have a full Kundalini awakening, you never see life in the same way again. And it's like everything burns down. So everything that's not meant for you burns down to the ground. Your nervous system gets out of whack, and it's like a dark night of the soul, but it goes on for many years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
so dark years of the soul as opposed to dark night of the soul.
Yeah. And it was pretty brutal, but I see the blessings in it now looking back. And so then 2 or 3 years ago, I had my first Kundalini activation experience. And because of my traditional lineage with Kundalini yoga, I felt like it wasn't the right thing because it should be something that's sacred in Eastern philosophy. But the more I started to explore it, the more I started to see how it could work for me in such a beneficial way, which was really working with the remnants of trauma that I've had, and how it can evolve you spiritually and consciously if you use it in the right way. So I think that there's a lot more research that people should do about it. Conversations to have with practitioners. There's a lot. I could go on about it for ages. So.
We had a comment come in saying they were talking about the Kundalini energy and the experiences and interpretations around that. For someone who has never been through a Kundalini awakening.
Mm-hmm.
What can you explain to them where they can get a small little like insight around what it's like to go
For
through
the
that process?
for the activation or the
Yeah, for
awakening?
the
For the
activation.
activation,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, for the
Okay.
activation.
So it can really bring up a lot of things for different people. So I've got like a lot of disclaimers on my site, but basically it will kind of pinpoint the darkness that needs to rise to the surface in that time. So it really is about doing the shadow work. So it's really good to hold an intention before you come in, so it just doesn't rise something random.
Yeah.
But it works on the physical body. It can often create those kind of movements that you've probably seen on camera. That's trauma often moving through the body to complete a cycle of trauma or an experience that couldn't fully happen at the time. So I don't know if you're familiar with Peter Levine and the work he does in somatic therapy, where he talks about what animals naturally do in the wild. They shake, so they're shaking that off so they're not holding the trauma.
Oh, right.
But if you've been through a physical trauma experience and you froze in that moment because you couldn't fight back or you were too small, you couldn't yell or run away or whatever, often those experiences will come up in Kundalini activation. But
Wow.
often, yeah, and so it's wild. And so what you see often is those people having the experiences. So if you've carried trauma for a long time, if you've had childhood trauma or something like that, often those movements are depicting an action that needed to be completed, but it's like your conscious mind kind of switches off when it's happening. So your body's doing it, but you might not have an actual memory of doing that afterwards.
Wow.
I've even had someone recently for a group session, and she was fine. She was just lying down, enjoying the energy, because sometimes it can be really blissful. Sometimes you just have those aha moments and lots of different things. And all of a sudden, she just kind of like shot out her fists in front of her and swore off the top of her head and like batted her arms around. And afterwards, she's like, I have no idea what that was about.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's wild. So it's really releasing a lot of stuff. And then mentally, you can go through different processes where, like I said, you might have those light bulb moments and things come together.
Yeah.
Some people feel really calm and grounded after a session. Some people feel like they've still got inner work to do, or it can bring up those deeper emotions. There might be grief that comes up, which is quite common if you've been holding it. But it's like when you think about being a sponge and absorbing all of life's experiences and just being like, I'll deal with that later.
Yeah.
Um, that's kind of like the space where it starts to see the light. You're bringing light to it.
What happens? So, you people are doing the activation, the Kundalini activation there with you in that session, and say it's bringing up stuff for them, and like that lady who had no idea what that was when she was swearing and punching. Then what happens? Like after the session, how do they then navigate? Are they his because it can release a lot of different kinds of things in them. What do you say for them to do afterwards? That's what I'm trying to get to. What do you recommend they do? Because are they stuck with this thing going, what's happened? Or what's the next thing?
So often my sessions are around 2 hours, so I won't take people out of the experience until they're ready. Even in a group session, if somebody's still going through and working with the energy, then I have to extend the session sometimes to allow them to finish that cycle, because otherwise it's not that safe for them, or otherwise they can hold on to that energy instead of releasing it in the session. And then afterwards, we go in through some embodiment processes where they're reconnecting with their bodies. So they're realizing that they're here and now and present, working with the breath again, often to re-regulate their nervous system if they need to. And then we often share the experiences so people can start making more sense of what happened. And in those sharing circles, it's not to be like, oh no, this horrible thing happened to me. It's more like when you hear other people talking about their experiences, it helps them understand their own experience.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's a really vital part of doing that group work. But also, like, I'll send out an email afterwards, which will give them some integration processes that they can then follow on afterwards. They know that I'm always available to talk to, or
Yeah.
for a phone call or whatever it is, if they need to. But it's all about really making the most of that integration time. So going home, like journaling about what happened, or pulling oracle cards, or just sitting with themselves, or whatever it is for them, but just allowing that space to really allow it to simmer. Because I think a lot of people these days are also just chasing that next high, where
Yeah.
they'll come from a Kundalini activation, like, whoa, so much, it was fireworks, and it was like I moved, and like all of this stuff, and you're not actually allowing the time to integrate. Like even in yoga, the correct way to do a yoga practice is that you would do the physical asana, the postures, and at the end of it, you have shavasana, which is lying flat. That is the integration. That's 3 to 5 minutes where you just go, how does my body feel now? What sensations are rising? What are the truths or beliefs, or what are the emotions that are now sitting beneath the surface? How do I feel now versus how did I feel before?
Yeah.
So there is a lot of teachings that I like to take from the yoga context, which are really relevant for today's society, and pay homage to where it comes from. But yeah, so the best way to keep working with the energy is to also keep working with the energy. So I'd suggest then people to work with it every no more than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because you need that time for it to keep moving through. So it will normally keep moving through you for the next 3 to 7 days. So you might get those downloads or those aha moments. The emotions might rise and fall in different ways, but it's about giving yourself that time and space rather than just being like, I'm gonna, spiritual bypass and just move on to the next breath work and get into that state again. So
yeah.
That's the thing.
And it's almost like, and you're right, they do chase the healing, and they think that if I do more and just stack them all up one modality after the other, that I'm going to be healed faster. And that's that, that mentality we have in work where we drive ourselves crazy with burnout. And it's the same kind of method applied to healing, but that's not how healing works. It's not that. It's like, as you're saying, it's layer by layer, it's trauma by trauma, and it takes as long as it takes. And if you don't take time to step back, like you're saying, and give yourself the time, and it's not just your mental self, right? It sounds like in your work, the body has a memory.
Yeah,
and
the body keeps score.
and
Music
that,
antidote.
yeah, 100%. And it's bringing out this memory that it's been holding for all those years, and then you have to allow that body to recover and release and do all the things that it does, as well as your mind, as well as your energy, as well as everything else. And I think people just miss that in healing. I think they go sometimes too into the modality to learn and fix and heal really fast, and don't actually, as you're saying, give yourself the time to really feel what it is that I'm releasing. How does that make me feel? How am I feeling now as opposed to what I was before the session? Like all these, I find all the small things is what really matters when dealing with the body. It's not the big ones are great, but also those small little shifts are just as important as well.
Like you can't just go back into normal every day and not, and just go, I'm healed after one session and not
It'd be
even.
so nice.
Imagine.
Oh, that'd be great. And then just go back and, do you're not doing the work, the inner work that you need to do. So, it's all part of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that people don't see is that Kundalini activation, like when it takes place itself, that's only one part of the journey. Like that's actually the smallest part. So often what happens before they even arrive on the mat, and I'm sure you see this in the energy healing practices that you do too, is that things do start to rise to the surface that are ready to be looked at and to be healed in different ways. And then afterwards, you need to have that integration period. So it's the integration period is going to be the longest part of it, not the ceremony itself. Like that's where, if you think about your higher consciousness, like so much is happening in that session that your human brain then has to start comprehending, what do I actually need to take away from this? How does my body need to resettle, and all those things.
Yeah, because it's a process, and I think this is the other part that people don't understand is that it's a two-way process. It's partly you doing and holding space and having and managing the energies and the person, and then the person also going through something both at the same time. So you're doing it together. It's never just, a lot of people come in and I think it's just them shifting and it's just them doing stuff, but it's It's also the practitioner and the healer at the same time.
And
we're in that journey with you
the
whole time.
And spirit, you know,
exactly.
you've got their spirit team, your spirit team. There's a lot going on. If you could see the room, you know, if the room would be very full of all the energies, right? And so, and the ancestors. So it's not just one person working on this.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be a cool view to see, actually?
Oh my God, can you imagine? But then you'd be like, wow, this room's full. We need to clear some space here.
This is going to take a while. We need a longer session.
I had a medium at my last group session, and she told me that there were like so many different beings in the room and everything. And it would have been wild to see. I wish I had clairvoyance like that. But yeah, it would have been pretty wild.
That's cool.
I've had some hono hono sessions, a physical massage modality where that has happened and ancestors have stepped in, and it goes from being empty, and your mum's one of them, to being a completely full room of ancestors and people that have passed and people that still love them and support them. It is a pretty amazing experience. It's pretty cool.
It'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Now, Monique, you're passionate about trauma-informed principles. I know we talked a little bit about trauma earlier, but can you explain what that means, trauma-informed principles?
In the simplest way, it's really trying to understand where your clients are at and making sure that they feel safe with everything that is going on and that you're about to do, and that they're safe to share those things with you. And to consider things that they might not be able to say as well or speak freely, because some people don't feel comfortable sharing their trauma, and also we obviously don't want people that are trauma dumping either and like over sharing. So it's just being really aware of the kind of actions that you're doing as a practitioner, like asking if touch is okay, and then perhaps even describing like, these are the parts that I will be touching, this is the kind of pressure, is that okay with you? Or, you know, like not touching sort of between here and the hips roughly, or really making sure that permission is expressed between you, and making sure that they can change their mind at any point in the healing, that they're always in control, they're always the one that's leading, and that you'll never do anything to harm them. And whether it's like a hands-on practitioner or a breathwork practitioner, it's always just making sure that they're safe. Like, not that they're like, oh, you know, that pack mentality that comes in those rooms sometimes. So they might push themselves because they've got to keep up with everyone else. So making sure that you're noticing in the room, like, who needs my help at the moment, and that they're always okay, and that you are always there for them if they need to. So, I mean, it goes a lot deeper than that, but in a basic way, it's really recognizing somebody's safety and that they have control over the session, and that you're just there to support them in whatever way feels comfortable for them. Like, sometimes there are triggering words, sometimes it's touch, but it's just like checking in and just doing the best that you can.
And that's a really responsible way to look at healing, right? Because they are coming in, they are feeling vulnerable, and you know, a lot of people don't want to talk about their trauma or don't, you know, are triggered by certain things. So it is really nice that you do consider that as part of your healing, because some healers don't. Some
people don't. No.
They just go straight in and then they just it can make the healing worse for the person instead of being a relaxing time. You know, it can be put people on edge. So it is. That's a really nice way to kind of integrate that.
Is there anything else, Monique, that you think that the healing industry sometimes gets a little bit wrong? Like, sometimes there's people that don't have protection practices, or sometimes there's people that don't do that discernment practice or your trauma-informed principles either. Are there any other things that you've noticed over the years where maybe we're getting things a little bit backwards? Maybe we need to have some change?
I think a big thing that's coming up, and I'm sure you guys have seen this too, is really about nervous system regulation. And I think that a lot of healers, like when you come from a spiritual background or a spiritual understanding, that's great, and that you know all of those things, but we have to have the science as well
Yeah.
these days. So, like, understanding the stages and the states of the nervous system, even though like most people don't recognize their own states, if we can start recognizing that as healers when someone's hypovigilant or hypervigilant, then that can help us know what they might be ready for. So say if somebody came in for Kundalini activation, but they're hypervigilant, they're in fight or flight, they're like holding so much tension in their body and they're like rapidly breathing, Kundalini activation, which is an activating energy, might not be right for them. That's when you'd probably go, oh, Reiki would be much better for you at this time, because that's going to help to sort of calm and settle you a little bit and make you feel safe again.
True.
Because when you think of hypervigilance, that's you're not feeling safe. You're thinking like everything's out to attack you.
Yeah.
And it's the same with hypovigilance as well. If someone's in fight or flight, or if someone's more in that freeze kind of state, it's like, what can I do to gently support them? And it's not going quickly from one to the other. It's bringing their resilience back up. Like, it's bringing their nervous system resilience back in, so they can easily move in and out of those things, rather than like the rapid ups and downs, which is just going to be worse. So I know it's another layer for all of us as healers, but it could really make a difference.
I think you raise a vital point, though, is that, you know, in today's age, there's a lot more things that go on with people than what used to be around in the modalities and practices of old. And I think everyone's becoming more aware and becoming more open, but it also means that we need to be even more diligent when it comes to working with individuals, because you don't know their histories or backgrounds. They'll only tell you so much, and you'll be able to feel a lot more. But you do need to understand, like, how you're going to help this person step through whatever it is going to show up on that day. And that's a big piece. I think not every modality or not every practitioner is doing that to their best ability. I think it's something we need to take on board.
It's, you know, and being aware that not everyone's the same.
No.
So it's just like there's different healing modalities, but there's also different personalities, and, you know, also different ways that people deal with stuff. So you can't just have one way for everyone, right?
Yeah. And I think that's where like those psychic gifts and abilities that often I guess awaken a bit more as an energy healer, like as you go through your path, they're really valuable for those sessions too, because you sort of start learning to read between the words that somebody's telling you. So when they're in front of you and you feel their energy and it doesn't match what they're saying, then you can make those suggestions like, hey, maybe today it's just a nice calm Reiki session, and we'll just like settle that energy instead of pushing yourself to achieve something else or to reach a new peak or whatever it is. So but I think that there's also probably not as much, or there's not enough awareness for healers to be like, hey, what about if you looked at the nervous system and you understood the basics? And it kind of then comes back to how many things do we need to know as healers?
It's true.
Because there's lots.
So much,
and it continues to grow. Continues to grow.
Yeah.
Now, you also teach Ascension Reiki, and you encourage practitioners to move beyond, you know, those rigid systems that we sometimes find ourselves in. Do you think people sometimes give too much power away to practitioners or healers? Do you think
I think you touched on that a little bit before, but sometimes people will say to me even like, oh, you're my healer. I'm like, no, like it's the contract, right? We're doing it together. So I'm providing the space and whatever work I do, but you're actually here doing the work. Like, you're making the space for yourself, you're coming to the realizations, you're doing the integration and the homework, and your healing is going to be a lot stronger if you actually do all of that. If you do the work. It's like we said before, like if somebody comes in and they're like, oh, I really need Reiki right now to calm down and find that peace in my mind again, but then they're going out and they're doing exactly the same things, and they might be drinking, might be doing drugs or whatever it is. They come back to you 2 weeks later and they're like, oh, can you fix me again? That's how it feels. You know, and it's like, I think that when you look at the Reiki system, Mikao Usui put in the Reiki principles because that's what he was seeing. Like people would come in for the healing and then they would just go back to their lives and think life was happening to them. And then they weren't in control of themselves. So he brought in the 5 Reiki principles. You know, just for today, I'll let go of anger, I'll let go of worry, I'll be kind to all humans, I'll do my work honestly. I can't remember the last one off the top of my head, but when you think about those principles, they are ways of life, and it is about inviting in that happiness. So it's kind of putting it back onto the person who's coming for the healing and empowering them to be their own healer.
Yeah. Because
Which
that's
is
what
what I want them to do.
you're right about that, Mon. Like it's about them understanding that the healing practice isn't coming and taking a pill like you go to a doctor, and it isn't like coming to see the healer for him to continually help you. It's eventually for you to learn yourself that you can actually do this with support and do it for yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like it's there is this initial phase where we all, we all started there, where we went on this journey of learning how to do it to help ourselves first, and then in that process we're like, damn, this can actually help a lot of other people too. And stepping people through that piece is almost vital to them continuing their journey, understanding that you can come to me as long as you want, but at some stage there's going to be a change where you need to go be more responsible for yourself and your own journey, and continue on. Without me, I'll still be here, I'll still support you, but there comes a part where they need to start taking a bit of responsibility for themselves too.
Take ownership of it, really.
And I think it's really beautiful when you have those moments when you kind of know, like, oh, this is the last time I'm going to see my client.
Exactly.
It's like a proud mama moment.
Fly, little bird, fly.
Go free.
You can do it on your own.
And then come back and tell me what you did.
That
is a beautiful moment. Yeah, that's really awesome.
Or they move on to a different healer as well, which I think is really nice. That's been a big theme coming up for me over the last year is collaboration over competition, because I feel like that industry started to get quite competitive, and there was like my clients, your clients, that kind of thing. So now I work collaboratively with a lot of different healers, and so I can be like, oh, maybe you should try this or go and see this person. When that part of the journey feels finished, or they've got a different part of their journey to go on to.
Yeah, it's sometimes it can get a bit competitive in this industry, just like anything else, and a lot of people gatekeep, or they don't want to share, but then that's kind of goes against
everything,
the nature of what healing is. You know what I mean? So there is enough for everyone. There are going to be enough clients for everyone, because the world needs healing.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere, that's all I know.
Yeah, exactly. AI can't do it.
Yes, I know. Our job's the same.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Monique, you've spoken about the crossover between psychic work and energy healing. How do the two complement each other in a session? You did mention it a little bit there. Can you go into that a bit more?
Yeah, sure. I think often when you're learning Reiki or energy healing or whatever it is in that kind of space, and you're becoming more spiritual and your channels are becoming more open, your psychic gifts tend to awaken a lot more and activate a lot more if you've come from that pathway. And so I think that what happens is that then you get into sessions, and instead of following the structure that you might have been taught with Reiki, like ham session, 3 minutes, your intuition starts to switch on more, and you start to go, oh, I think this person needs this, this, and that. Or often I'll do a bit of pre-channeling for a client 10, 15, 20 minutes before they come, and I'll just check in with the cards or in with their energy to feel what I'm reading. And so that's really beneficial for me, because it means I can prepare like which modality or how might this session go. And so often then when they come in and they start telling me, I'm like, okay, that combined with what I was feeling equals this. Or they might say exactly what I've just channeled for them, and then I'll be like, okay, cool, like I know that I'm on the right track, and I know that it's definitely this. So I think it's really like learning to sit with spirit and to sit with the psychic senses, and just to allow them to be nurtured along the way. And I think you guys come from the opposite way, where you were more psychic first and then did energy healing.
Yeah, we were
right?
both of us. Yeah, we were both psychic, and then we went into mediumship
And then energy
and then
healing.
into energy, and then did a Shati
Yeah.
through energy and
Yeah.
Reiki as well. And then I
Can
went
I
into
ask,
physical after
can
that.
I ask how that differs, like your perspective as a healer, if it does?
You combine. You
I
combine
always
yours.
blend.
Yeah.
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 But like for me, when a client comes to sit with me, and depending on what it is, actually, like if it's a reading, I will, I usually get signs of what's kind of going on in their world and get an insight into what's happening. And then that changes to when they're here. And then there's another layer that gets unfolded and you get some insight into. And then you confirm that with the client about what they're going through. And then you do the reading.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's a physical, if it's my physical hono level, I start feeling in my body like the week
Yeah.
of leading into them coming to my space, and that's what happens on that space. And then it might be a bit psychic, it might be physical in my body. I might feel my back or my shoulder or my neck, and it's kind of like telling me, okay, well, this is what this person's going through, this is what we're going to be lifting in these layers, and it kind of shifts depending on what kind of comes up for the person in that moment. But yeah, it blends. It's basically blended now.
Yeah, that's
All
a
of the
good point.
modalities.
I get a lot of the physical sensations in my body as
Yeah.
well. So I'm just like, okay. And so then I'm like, is this mine? And then when I get
Yes.
them more, I'm like, okay, cool. So which of my clients today does this belong to? And then they'll come in and be like, that's you.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
And then I
especially
send
when
them
it's
a
like the
message.
headache. Yeah,
They're like,
exactly.
Are you good? Is your back sore today?
yeah.
Yeah, but it's cool in a way because if I'm still holding that in a session, then I can work on that part on a client, and when it's disappeared in me, I know it's disappeared in them.
Correct. Yeah.
So
Totally.
I feel like that's one of the beautiful gifts of being psychic. And I know at the start when you get those sensations in your body, you think it's the worst cursed, or when you first become more in touch with those empath abilities, it's like, this is the worst. I don't want to leave the house. But
Totally.
Yeah.
then you can learn how to turn them into a
Yeah.
superpower. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine is mine people would usually come to me for a psychic reading.
yeah.
And then during the reading, or they're like, "Oh, I want to know about my health or whatever," and then I would like scan them psychically, and I'm like, "Oh, I can," and then I like can start feeling all the things, and then I'll be like, "This person really needs a healing. Have you considered a healing?" And things like that.
Yeah.
So mine is a little bit different because I don't go straight in for the healing. Mine is the psychic read first and then saying what my recommendations would be. And it's 9 times out of 10 with women is carrying other people's stuff. So there's a big need to let go of that.
Yeah.
Grounding, people not being grounded and needing to do that. And what you touched on earlier, people holding their breath way too much.
And the tension.
And the tension of just like, and I mean, I'm guilty of that myself. So I can say to them, do you hold your breath a lot and overthink? And they're like, yes. And then it's like, okay, some simple things you can do right now are A, B, and C, But obviously I know they need deeper healing. But if they're there with me for 30 minutes, I'm going to try and give them what I can. Yeah.
And we're a lot like yourself, Monique. Like when we have clients who, they're the space or the healing that they're trying to move through, if we're not the ones to be the one to help them with that, we're more than likely to like recommend them to other healers in that space, because we don't want to keep it as like, oh, you need to work with me. I'm the one that'll help you through this whole journey. There's no one else that just doesn't work, because we've had so many teachers and so many modalities over the years. I think there's beauty in being able to like actually lift layers with different people and learn from different people. And we're big advocates on like, sharing the openness, the healing, and the journey with the people who are actually going to help them move and shift. That's really what it's about. So we're very similar in that respect as well.
Yeah. No, I think it's really beautiful. I really do think it takes a village. And I think when you've been on the healing journey yourself, you know how many people have helped you. So it's like, well, obviously they're going to need someone else at some other time. So you want them to fly, like you want to be better.
Yeah, that's right. Because you end up having like a spirit team, and then you have your healer team, your physical team, and then there's you, and then there's all the crap you have to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you've also made some major business decisions of late. You know, you've also, and some of those decisions have actually been based within your intuitive, you know, connection and your intuitive logic. What would you say is one decision that for you at the time may have felt really risky, but ultimately ended up being the best decision you've ever made?
It might not sound like a big decision, but renaming my business. And so I got rid of my old URL, my domain, which was Anahata Reiki and Wellness. And I just decided that I was just going to use my name because I felt like Anahata Reiki and Wellness was great when I started and that's who I was, but I've matured so much since then and I was offering different things and it didn't feel like it was true to myself anymore in the direction I wanted to grow. But my name's never going to change.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like it doesn't matter what I have it as, but it's also I think about owning the gifts that I have and that I'm actually a person. Like I'm not a business, like I'm a person
Yeah,
and
that's
this
true.
is what I'm offering. And sometimes I think that we can hide behind a business name a little bit. Rather than taking ownership of like, hey, I'm actually just a person. And I think sometimes that that kind of allows us to step forward in our own light a little bit more as well, to really just own like, oh, especially for people who have been in the spiritual closet for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I was like, oh, if it's Anahata Reiki and Wellness, that's okay because that's a bit separate from me. And not everyone will know that I'm this really weird spiritual person. And so it was like a process of maturing.
Yeah.
But at the time, there was like, I'd had that build up, like, as you know, because you work in media and all the things,
Yeah.
but I'd had that domain for about 5 or 6 years, and it had that natural flow of traffic, natural bookings. And I was just like, am I making the most like stupid decision of my life? But when I really leaned into it, I had the biggest months in my business as soon as I dropped it. And it's just really allowed me to expand
Oh,
and to
wow.
just own more of myself rather than hiding behind that front.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
heaps more as well. Like it's honestly, it's saved my life at times when I've been traveling solo. It made me walk away from my pending marriage when I was a little baby at 23. Yeah, like lots of different ways. It's really been that firm calling where it's just that voice that you hear and you're like, what was that? And I can't turn my back and pretend I didn't just hear that.
Yeah.
And if you do, and it's something that's so strong and that's meant for you, it's like it just keeps showing up. And it's like that burning kind of sensation within you that you're like, oh, I know that I can't keep going this way. And I think sometimes that's even what leads us to that burnout because you're
True.
not doing the thing, you're not listening to your intuition. It's been trying to like tell you and yell at you and be like, hey, you're on the wrong path, you're out of alignment. Like, I'm gonna burn you out if you don't listen. So
That's
yeah, so
it.
listen to the fire.
Yeah, and that's it. And so many people don't, and they've
No.
been they've been given these signs over and over again, you know, until it's like your intuition or your guides are like really
Screaming at you.
screaming at you.
Yeah.
They're gonna make you fall over until you listen, right? And then a lot of people just ignore and be like, oh, why is this happening to me? And you're like, because you're not
Well,
listening. Well, where do we
yeah.
start? You know, and it's like, oh, I keep breaking bones, and it's like, where do we start? Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And I think there's also that confusion that people think that your intuition is going to be a really big, loud, booming voice. Sometimes it is, like if it's in a moment that you really need to act.
yeah.
But for the most part, it's actually quite quiet.
Yeah.
So if you don't take that time and space to be quiet and sit with yourself, you're probably never going to hear it.
Yeah, you'll
That's
miss it completely.
Yeah, if you're always distracted, you're
Yeah.
never going to hear that
No.
quiet intuition or that quiet voice.
No, so true.
Yeah. You've had that, just going back to what Monique was saying about, you know, owning the practice under her name. You've had a similar thing too recently. We've talked about it before, like with Kebrasca, your website. You know what I mean? And
Like having my name.
yeah, and
which
having
is
your
not my
name. No, but it
now
is
it's
your
my
name.
name.
It is your name. But you know what I mean? And like being that thing of like being a bit scared to in our marketing world to tell clients
Oh yeah.
that we do this.
Yeah. It was a big journey to step through that whole piece of owning my healing journey and actually putting myself out there as both a healer and a spiritual entrepreneur, but also an author and all the other things that kind of went along with this life before healing began. And now it is just like the modalities and just like yourself, it's all blended into me. And now it's just about showing who I am rather than trying to, as you were saying, put a label on something or hide behind something or be a something else. It's really about just like standing up and going, yeah, this is me. I'm Kebrasca and this is what I do. And that's it.
These are all of my parts.
And these are all the
Exactly.
these are
That's
all the things. So like, take it or leave it.
That's it.
I no longer care.
Yeah.
Not in a negative way, but it's more like a self-confidence in yourself, like that never existed before my healing journey. It wasn't. I was afraid to stand up. I was afraid to talk about healing. I was definitely afraid of what our clients would think of both Amber and I speaking with dead people. Like mediumship is not normal. Everyone thinks we're crazy.
Yeah.
But it just, it's just us, and we just had to embrace it. And it took us a long time to do that. And it's quite empowering, hey, Monique, when you actually make that stand to go, this is me. This is what I stand for. This is what I'm about. And here I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no separation. It's not like, oh, I'm this person sometimes and that. It's just like, well, yeah, I am this and that person sometimes, but I'm actually all of me. This is like the package that I come in.
Yeah.
And sometimes I dress like this and sometimes I dress like that. Or it's just, it is really owning like all parts of yourself and not feeling like you have to completely change your personality around different people. Like, I could see how your spiritual work would so well in your creative business. And I feel like creativity and spirituality go together hand in hand anyway.
100%.
Yep.
I'm sure a lot of your clients have just been like, whoa, that's so cool.
You're like,
can you read me?
Yeah, some do, but then others are like, oh.
There's a lot that are actually still freaked out.
Yeah, and they're like...
But we don't stop. We don't stop being ourselves in front of them anymore. We used to. We used to hide that whole piece.
Yeah.
But now we don't.
No.
No.
We don't push it on them either.
No, we don't. No.
It's just
if they're open, they're open.
Yeah. If they ask about it, we tell them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. I really think that now is like a time where people are becoming more open to those ideas. Even if they're not fully accepting or on board, they're just like, they get a bit more curious.
Yeah. And that's all we ask, really. Just don't poo-poo it straight away. Like if
not until you try it.
Exactly. if you are interested, we're always here to have a conversation about it. And that's what, that's all we ask is for people to have an open mind. We're not trying to convert anyone. It's not like that. It's if they want to learn about it, then definitely ask us because we like you, Monique, we can talk about it all day long and we'd love to. Yeah.
And I came from a different space because I was a full skeptic before stepping into this space. And you were already kind of more open than I was. You were already getting readings. You were already doing meditation.
Yeah.
I was doing nothing, like absolutely nothing. I was interested in the science, like how you were talking about science, quantum field and energy, like from a scientific side. I was always fascinated with that kind of stuff. And then it kind of blew up into
where we are
a
today.
10-year, decade journey of healing myself.
And every time somebody said to you, Kebrasca, you're a healer, you're like, no.
No, you're crazy. Yeah, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm just going to help myself. That's it.
And so if somebody says that to you now,
yes, I just go, yes.
You're a healer?
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Say it.
And here's what I do. And here's how I can help you. And come and see me tomorrow.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. And you are too. We all are.
Thanks. We all are.
Yeah.
We all are. Spiritual entrepreneurship can be a very lonely path because there isn't always a roadmap. There's not always a plan and it doesn't always go in a straight line. How do you navigate uncertainty when making big decisions?
A lot of different ways. One of them is my wonderful husband who He's spiritual in his own way, but otherwise he's very logical, analytical, grounded. So having conversations with him often like has like a completely different perspective and things that I haven't thought of. But a lot of it is sitting in meditation, sitting in contemplation, like getting healing work. Sometimes I get tarot readings from other people as well. And it's like taking in all of that information from all sources. So it's not just being purely spiritual for me. It is being like, I've got to be logical about this to a level. And then once you've got all of that information, for me, it's really kind of sitting with that in my heart and being like, what is the decision? Like, what is the decision that is really going to get me to where I want to be? And why am I making that decision? Like, what's the purpose?
Yeah.
So it's thinking about the goal beyond the goal almost.
Yeah.
And being like, what is going to take me there? So like I said before, like sometimes in my earlier life, I would have been like, oh, I'm just going to like quit everything and I'm just going to like travel overseas. And now I can see how all of that was really beneficial to my journey. But now it's more like, but is that going to get me to the goal? And so now it's not. Back then, probably, yes, it did. So yeah, so I think it's really important to have a really grounded approach. Even when you think of the chakra system, we've got our top 3 chakras, spiritual, our bottom 3, which are more material and grounded, like, and our heart, like, reminds us that we've got to live in both worlds. So when you're making decisions, like, come from a place where you're taking all the information.
What's been harder for you over the years, Monique? Learning how to be a healer, or learning how to do the business side of it, or both? What's been the hardest?
A bit of both, but I'd probably say more the business side, because when you get into the spirituality and you really start learning it, you just kind of want to sit there all day and you forget that I've got to go out and do the marketing. I've got to build the website. I've got to put myself out there. Oh, I've actually got to ask clients if they would like to work with me. And so you kind of just wish that you had this natural, like, oh, I'm a healer now and I've got all of this business, but it's not like that.
No, it's not. It's not.
So it's just all of the layers behind the business, I think, that people don't think about, that you do, like all of the admin, the messaging, the invoicing, like the making sure the money flows correct, your marketing, your voice, your everything. Like there's just so many layers. So when you're doing it on your own, it's a lot.
Yeah, like you might be, people, they might be the best healer in the world, but if they don't know how to do their marketing or how to get their message out there, then no one's going to find them, right? It's just or you might be the best marketer in the world, but if you're not telling your story around how you heal, or you're not a good healer, then that's not going to serve you either. So it is really a blend of both, isn't it?
And we all put so much time into healing ourselves, and then also learning the modality to a point where you can actually share that with people. It's a real, and unfortunately we've seen it a lot within our healing practices within different modalities, where there are some incredible teachers, incredible people that are super, super talented and have helped a lot of people. But they're also, they're also living like week to week. They also can't do certain things that they want to do, and it becomes a real struggle. And we're like, how is that when you're doing such amazing stuff? How is it that this is not working for you? And we are, I think one of our passions as being our background is to try and help as much as we can around, there is a way that this can work. It takes just as much work as what you've done learning your modality as it does to manage and build that part as well. And you have to learn how to do both. You literally do. Yeah. There is no other way. You have to commit and do all the things that we do when we go into a practice and heal and learn a new modality. You have to do that with your own business. There is just there's no choice. You can't not do it.
But I guess that's that analogy again of like living between those worlds, the spiritual and the manifest world, and just like sitting in your heart, because you've got to live in both. That's why we're having this human experience, because we've got to learn how to live in both. Yeah,
definitely. Now, looking back at the Monique who first started her business, what's one lesson you wish that she'd learned sooner?
Don't wait until it's perfect to start.
That's a good one. It's so true.
Yeah.
So
I
true.
I think that you learn so much just from starting and just start messy and not worrying about it being perfect.
Yeah.
Because you learn so much on the job,
Yeah.
and you learn so much about how to run a business and how to be a better healer through doing the work. But if you keep chasing all the certifications and all the modalities, but you're not sharing it with the world, then what's the point?
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
at some point, you've got to start sharing that with other people, like even if it's just friends or family, like the relatives, colleagues, whatever it is, but just start sharing it with the world.
Yeah.
Don't keep it all inside. And I
Mm.
think that not only do you grow then as a healer and you get to share that with other people, but your own kind of like your energy grows as well. So
Yeah,
it's part of
true.
your own spiritual evolution. So yeah, just don't wait until it's perfect. Just
Mm.
start and have fun with it and like laugh at your mistakes
Mm.
and don't see them as failures, but like you're actually trying, like you're giving it a go. So it's never a failure if you just put it out there. Like even if it's a new workshop and you get one person, go, show up, like
Yeah.
fully, just do it. It's not a failure. The only failure is not going or deciding to cancel it or, like limiting yourself
Yeah.
again because
Yeah.
it's not perfect. So
Yeah. I love that. That's me too. I always was like, no, it's not perfect. And Kebrasca was always like, just do it. Just hurry up. Just start it. I'm like, no, but I don't have this done and I don't have. He's just like, oh my God, just do it. And then that's the thing. You got to be pushed off the cliff almost,
You do.
because we are such perfectionists. And in our line of work, in marketing, we would never push something out which we didn't feel 100% on, because
yeah,
that's just how we've been conditioned. So I'm the same way in the spiritual work. I'm just like, oh, it's not that, I don't feel 100% about it. And Kebrasca's like, just
yeah,
do it.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
is that conditioning
It's
of our
that.
business, though. Eh?
Yeah.
That was the block within your spiritual learning, is that you had to learn how to push past those ridiculous expectations we put on ourselves that keep us, structured
Yeah.
in that business sense, and actually open yourself up to, like, it doesn't matter
Yeah,
if it's broken, doesn't matter if it's half done, as long as you put it out and show, and it's a work in progress. Everything is. Even this podcast that we've started, it's
Yeah.
not perfect. We're going to continually grow it and continually get better as we go along and do the process. But that's how things are really done.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
life.
It's life. Yeah.
But I like that because it feels just so more raw and real. Like it feels
Yeah.
like you're real people, and you're like, oh, I'm not perfect, but I'm just showing up because I'm so passionate about the thing that I want to do, and I know I'll keep learning along the way.
Exactly.
Most of my clients will know how bad my spelling is. Like even on
I'm the
Instagram, I
same.
go through it. I'm a little bit dyslexic, so I write things out, and there's so many mistakes through it, and people point it out. I'm like,
Oh,
it's
wow.
okay. I've accepted that part of myself. Sometimes I get it wrong, and that's cool too. I can laugh. But yeah, like on the bigger scope, it is kind of like, well, if it's going to help you along the way, like just start, just
Mm,
get out of your own way and just be excited that you're doing it.
mm.
And that's not a failure. The only
Mm.
failure is to just not try at all.
That's
It's to
it.
quit. Yeah,
That's it.
exactly. Yeah.
Now, Monique, we are ready here with the tarot cards to do a reading for you. So what is your question? What's the thing that you want to look into for this reading?
I don't have a question as such, maybe just a general reading about the next kind of 6 months, if that's not too much, or the
Yeah,
next 3 months.
yeah, to do with your business.
Oh yeah, I think to do with my business for
Okay,
sure.
all
Yeah.
right.
I'll move
Should we
this.
do 3 months? The next 3 months, we can do
Yeah,
three
sure.
cards.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So what's the energy around Monique and their business in the next 3 months? Okay, Monique, we've got a left pile, a middle pile, and a right pile. Please choose one.
I'm going to choose this far one, the one that's furthest away from you, whichever one that is.
Furthest away from you. Left?
Furthest away from you, so it must be your right.
That one. It'll be this one. It is this, the left.
The left.
The left.
Okay, you model it.
All right.
Month 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
These are giant cards that we're using today.
They do look giant.
Yeah, they're pretty big.
They remind me of Alice in Wonderland for some reason.
Yeah.
All right. So for the first, so we've got month 1 coming up. We've got the so I'm terrible. See how you're a little bit dyslexic.
Roman numerals.
I cannot do Roman numerals to save me. So I usually use other cards. Kebrasca, what number is that?
7.
See,
7.
I just, anyway, 7 of cups. 7 of cups coming up for your first month. So there's choices to be made on what direction that you need to go. So I feel like with you, because you're doing so many different things and you are really good at lots of different things in your spiritual practice and your spiritual world and what you offer. This month coming up, or this month that we need to look at in month 1, is something like around, I did get a little message that you're going to be going near the sea soon. So this could be like looking further out around where you are and kind of exploring and meditating while you're there over things that are coming up. It's going to be hard work that you are choosing to look into. So it's not going to be just done like snap of the fingers and you're there and it's like, I've made the decision and I'm going with it. I feel with you there's still more to come, because this also talks about there's possibly, more than one option that's good for you here and growing your growing things creatively. Also have a think about something where I feel like this card represents Kundalini to me, because it's all about the back. It's all about, working on things to do with the back and helping people kind of come out of that darkness that they have been experiencing in life. So there's some decisions there to make around where to next for you. And it's going to, take a bit of work to get into that as well. What do you feel with those cards, Kebrasca?
No, I agree. I think it talks very much about the work that you've done to date to do with the business, and also all the options with regards to products. What I'm seeing is the product catalog categories that you've placed for yourself within the business. They're kind of at a really strong point now, right? It's like you have created really solid vehicles within that product sphere that you have, that you are now very comfortable with. You've got a lot of clients, you've now got students coming in with that, but that's not what the focus is anymore. It's actually about you creating some new products or new offerings for this. So it's almost like talking for me around your next level of product sphere, the next work, the next creations, the next workshops, because we, as healers, we get really comfortable with what we've got, and then we get used to that level as well. And this isn't about that. This is about, yes, you're at a great space now, but it's talking about more work that's required. And it's almost like having an additional 3 kind of options, or 3 different types of offerings that will be in the next month. Those are the things that you're going to be focusing on mentally. It's the things that you want to offer to your students. And I'm seeing like your students have a big impact on like what you develop and how you go through that process of what you build next. And so it's this segue of, I'm comfortable, I've got this is working really well. I'm going to be uncomfortable, I'm going to push myself, I'm going to do something different, I'm going to offer something else. And it seems to be like that's where you're at within that that first month.
Yeah, definitely.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah. And then the second month.
It's a good month.
The money's coming in.
It's a good month.
So
we all like seeing this card.
Yeah. The first month is about that planning and exploring where to go next and what new offerings you're going to be creating. And then month 2, we're looking at, actually integrating that, but actually getting the riches from that. So, as we know, as healers in this world of spirituality, sometimes it can be like this, a bit lonely or down and out, or that feeling like you're working so hard and where's the riches coming in, like where's the money? But it's showing that it is coming. So we get out of that mindset into this feeling of rejoicing. And I feel like, as Kebrasca said, it's a lot to do with your students kind of pushing you in that direction, but also your connections. You were talking earlier about your collaborations with others, and I feel like it is going to be collaborations
with others
that will drive this forward.
Yeah.
And with you kind of steering
the ship,
steering the, taking the reins, so to speak, into where you want to go next.
Yeah, because the first month almost seems, Monique, that it's going to be around this planning phase, that what is it that we need to deliver, how that's going to work, etc., etc. And then this month is about putting it into practice, finding the right partners to actually collaborate with. And the objective is that it's not just you that makes money, it's all of us. It's like a win-win-win scenario, so that, everyone that comes on board shares their modality, their gifts, their insights. We all do the work, but the load is shared. We all collaborate. The healing is amazing. And then, the finances is just a financial bonus to like having this new product that's available for your students and for your practice as well. So yeah, very much the next growth phase.
Yeah, amazing.
And then month 3, we have the Lovers card, which I'm going to just hide their privates.
Yeah,
so we don't get banned.
Because we've already been banned.
Yeah,
we got banned on TikTok for
TikTok does not like seeing this card.
It's showing a terror.
But this is about the card of choices. So when you are getting into month 3, so you've worked towards everything that you've been planning.
Yeah.
You've done your collaboration in month 2, and it's starting to come to fruition. Now it's about making the choice of where to go next. I feel like it's a bit of a cycle for you. So it's not like, I don't feel like you're just going to sit there and be, okay, that's done. And I'm just going to stay there right now. It's going to be a movement forward. Because you already have all the tools. You already have all the tools with which to make this successful. I feel like there's going to be part of you, though, that's going to be looking back a little bit, being like, oh, do I want to push forward again? I really want to just stay here in this comfortable space that I've created in month 2. No, it's going to push you forward, because there's more work to be done in terms of resurrecting or helping people to come out of those depths of where they've been sitting. It's going to be you going even deeper in your work to help people and through more trauma, like release and heal more deep trauma. So I'm just saying, buckle up, because it's going to get busy and it's going to get, full on, I think. I mean, you already work in that space.
Totally.
But I just feel like there's going to be more of that to come. And it's like, if you're starting to feel like, oh, I just want to stay in this easy space for now, I just feel like it's going to be like, no, you're going to move into this more challenging space of healing, but it's going to be more beneficial as well.
It really speaks to me, Monique, around you also having this, when you go into that creation phase, there's sometimes a little bit of self-judgment around that piece as well. And so managing that as you step into this new collaboration with partners, and also creating something brand new as an offering for your students, just understanding that, you're coming from a place of real solid background of modalities and experience and healing of your own, which just flows into your work, right? So really it's about cultivating all of those beautiful things, working in collaboration with others, and building something new that you've always wanted to do, but you just haven't found the right people to do it with. That's what I'm seeing as being and what it's like working in collaboration with others. Sometimes it sounds great, but it never turns out to be that, experience. It's always a lot harder than what it is. And I'm seeing this actually be a lot longer than 3 months. I'm seeing it more 6 months as a time frame to give yourself the required time in order to nurture yourself, find the right partners, build what needs to be built, deal with what it is that you're going through during this process as well. Because once this is out there, this becomes like another piece of your extension of your new name, your new brand, and helps to grow you in a very different space. I'm also seeing events being like a really cool component of this too. Like it's in a much bigger space.
Yeah.
A lot more people collaborating to bring more people in, as Amber was saying.
Yeah.
And it feels like this is like setting you up for a 2027
Yeah.
pathway. So almost doing all the hard work the next 6 months to lay this foundation, find collaborations, all the people to then like really push it for like a new offering that's coming up either end of this year or around 2027.
Yeah.
It's very accurate, actually. So that's pretty much how my next 6 months is planned out. Like in my head, I'm getting like the little pieces, the breadcrumbs of what's going on at the moment, and they're rising beneath the surface. And I think that that feeling, like that energy of like, I've got to do it, like it's forcing me into action. And I really do feel like it comes from the Kundalini. Like one of my teachers said to me about a year ago, like when you're really like embodying it, it just moves you into your alignment. Like it just moves you into the right direction. And it feels like for the first time for my business, it's like, no, I really know where I'm going. I feel uncomfortable about it. I know it's going to be a lot of work. And it's just like, well, do I really have to?
Yes.
It's that intuitive voice, like that beneath the surface. It's like pushing me, like being like, just go and do it.
It is because you've done the work and you're ready, and the time for you anyway in this phase is very much about you creating your next, from where you've gone to where you are. And now it's time for that next layer, that next level for you as well. So yes, we will.
So cool. I'm so excited. That was amazing. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
And look, thank you so much, Monique, for joining us and sharing your world with us. It's always amazing to see you and share space. And now we know a lot more about what it is that you do. And we'll definitely be sending people your way that need to have that experience, because we have a lot of different clients that come through, and we're just massive fans of everything that you do. So congratulations on the business. Thank you so much for being here this evening. And
thank you, guys.
We will no doubt catch up with you again soon.
Yes.
Yeah, amazing. And all right back at you as well. So it's always an honor to connect. So thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Monique.
Now, guys, if you are wanting to visit Monique on any of the socials or her website, you can visit her at moniqueelouise.com. We're showing her details here online. Also follow all her social pages. She's got all her offerings. She's also got consultations as well as events that are going to be coming up. So if you need any information around Kundalini activations, you're stuck, you just don't know what you want to be doing this year, by all means, reach out to Monique. She will be able to set you on the right pathway.
She's got she does really awesome social videos, like really good explanations on what she does as well on social media. So check out her socials and read her, look over her website, and even reach out to her. As you've seen, she's a very interesting, fun person to talk to. She's going to steer you in the right direction.
She will. And then we will be steering ourselves into another episode next week, same time, same channel, Thursday, 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, if you are on this side of the world.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to next week as well. Another very special, talented individual coming up next week. She's been through a lot.
I love it how you don't say anything about who's coming.
I just want you to tune in, because you won't want to, like, every time we have a guest, they offer so much, but this, and I say every week, another special guest, because they are special.
Well, everyone we've had so far has just been absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like this podcast wouldn't be what it is without their value and their knowledge and their experience. And, I just can't say how grateful we are to be able to work with and know these incredible people.
Yeah, I'm very grateful. Thank you to everyone. And thank you to all of our viewers and listeners for tuning in. We really value your questions and comments as well. But thank you so much. And we will see you next week.
We will indeed. Take care until then.